He's a tinker man, he's a tinker man, a servant of the worship is he. He can take some...
Hello, I'm Tinker, and welcome to Tinker's Tales, or the Tinkerverse. As you can see, we're always trying out new things here, and I'll just better fix my collar up because I wouldn't want to look untinkery. That just wouldn't be tinkery enough. Today we're going to try out something new because I'm always doing the new things here on the Tinkerverse, as you can see, by putting the Tinkerverse in some idiot's bedroom. And I got involved in a very interesting conversation. Or was that you? You got involved. Got involved in a very interesting conversation regarding international trade agreements for intellectual property. Very interesting conversation. I'm sure I've heard all about it. And a little bit later on, I'm going to read some words of wisdom. So check back in. Well, just don't go away. Stick right here, because we're going to put the International Trade Agreement intellectual property to the test. Now, the conversation was with a young lady by the name of, I'm not even sure what her name is. And now I've got it in front of me here on the old iPad with Windows. Got the iPad with Windows here. I got this when I went to the person's house to get the cactus. I had to go to the person's house to get the cactus, right? Anyway, Sarahan Swain. Sarahan Swain seems to be an expert in international trade agreements for intellectual property. And she has written some poetry here that I'm going to read out. The first one is actually quite near and dear to my heart. It's called Seamstress. So, Seamstress by Sarahan Swain. The rotary cutter is nicked, a flat spot where metal snapped under the weight of my hand. Or maybe I bought it that way. Maybe I paid for something damaged. But it keeps threads around intact, imperfectly whole. Every time I roll over the odd geometry of clothes, I second snip with shears, where the gaps in cuts appear. Measurements are a nip-tuck against my skin, form-fitting into expectations. Of the man on the bus, disgusted by how my thighs touch, and how my knee bumped his when he opened his legs wide and gulped in space. So that was Seamstress by Sarahan Swain. And she's written another one here called Cassandra. So I'm going to read Cassandra by Sarahan Swain. We're going to do a bit of a double up of Sarahan Swain's poetry. Cassandra. Safety glass doesn't slice, but enough pressure, a fireball bursting from a faulty pilot light. Can singe the hair off your arm, eat your elbows, gold your cheek with your own sweat. Safety glass transforms the sharp of a knife into the blunt of a paper punch, pressuring into the corner of your flame-bit right eye instantaneously. An explosion became a blink, became a scratch, became an infection over her adamant protests. That's not how she lost her sight. Canvas aprons make the young baristas look professional. Iron crisp edges, hours of training, a HR program does more than inspire politeness. It requires friendliness. Smile, girl, smile. For me, it's retail's policy not harassment, and it waters down authenticity in the name of brand image until the customer orders his Americano Scolding Joe concoction, burns his tongue and says, "Look what you made me do!" Fire in the hole. She goes to hospital. Her curse was having to listen as Eric repeated the words into the ringing of unearned accolades. An imperfect sentiment, he explained her own ideas to her. Never met a nuance he liked. Enough to invite the conversation, renamed her Bossy for reclaiming her time and denying him, but he said he liked the challenge. Shame. It's so easy to buy the battery acid, he hurled in reply. But that's not how she lost her sight. Cassandra's curse was that no matter how many times she told the truth, no one would listen without an interpreter. So that's two poems penned by the wonderful Sarah Ann Swain. Absolutely wonderful, that is. And as promised, before we sign out, I'm just going to read from the big wisdom book, the Wizzo book, Wisdom. There's got to be a better title for it than that. Tinker's Book of Wisdom. Either way, whatever we call this book, Russell Lynes said, "The art of acceptance is the art of making someone who has done you a small favour wish that he might have done you a greater one." And this one is attributed to my favourite author of all time, Anonymous. "Kindness is a language the deaf can hear and the dumb can understand." And maybe Cassandra, the blind, can see, maybe. And according to Seneca, wherever there is a human being, there is a chance of kindness. I think there's something in that for all of us, don't you? I'm Tinker. Achieve and be proud.
He's a tinker man, a servant of the worshippers he. He can take some parts out a little hard and make an invention you need. He's a tinker man, he's a tinker man.